Well, hello YouTube, it's me Fortmaster, and welcome back to another pyxlwhip reaction. And this is 12 minutes and 25 seconds of Deltarune Chapter 3 Facts. So this was a request from my Discord server by one Graft Copperfield, and there is a spoiler here for the Eggman fact. So, I guess I was kind of contemplating what to do with this. Originally I was thinking of just, looking at this fact until after the video happened. But I'm thinking since they're specifically pointing out a single fact with the spoiler, I'm going to look at the spoiler after the fact has been said in the video. But yeah, chapters 3 and 4 came out, and I would imagine, well, I mean, I already know there's a lot of stuff hidden and unused in, chapter 3, because again, I've heard there was an entirely unused chapter 3 board that was pretty much finished. There's a lot of stuff involving, like, the mantle minigame that's kind of been hidden or weirdly coded. Honestly, again, you can tell, and I guess this is kind of like the joy of, us getting Deltarune piecemeal like we are with the chapters, where we're kind of seeing how, like, the story of Deltarune and how it's being shown to us is evolving, sort of in real time, kind of. I mean, granted, I wish, that the cowboy segment hadn't been cut, and I wish we kind of got that third segment, because honestly, it did look kind of cool, but I guess if, Toby removed it for pacing reasons, what are you going to do? But yeah, on to this video. We're 1225. If you haven't, seen chapters 3 or 4 yet, 1225 is kind of a repeating motif in it, because we find that code, because it's one of the codes that we need for the shelter door south of town, and this code was inside Dess's guitar, which I really have to wonder, like, all questions aside, the biggest question in my mind is, why was it in Dess's guitar of all places? Because I'm fairly certain at this point we know Carol has something to do with it. But why would she keep it there as opposed to literally anywhere else? Like, why not keep it in a book, in her bedside table, in her room, which is, a door that's locked? But yeah, all questions aside, again, I liked chapters 3 and 4, and I like all these Deltarune fact videos because, I like learning things. They also do very well, so, everybody wins. But yeah, we should probably get this thing started. So yeah, of course, as always, original videos linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet for some reason. Corner video, link to my Let's Play of the day. And if you like this video or any other video that I make, I'd very much appreciate it if you gave the video a like and subscribe to my channel, because I just passed 5,000 subscribers a couple of days ago at the time of recording. And honestly, it's a huge milestone, and now I'm aiming for, 10,000 by the end of the year. Let's see if we can hit it. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get this thing started then, shall we?
In my last video talking about Deltarune theories, I had a ton of comments saying that it wasn't very well researched. So I've taken it upon myself to go through the lesser known stuff about Deltarune and inform both myself and you guys. You're getting locked in for 12 minutes 25 seconds of Deltarune Chapter 3 facts. Some of these are important secrets and lore info, but I'm also covering the funny stuff you missed as well. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. Let's start with the big one, egg. In previous chapters, you simply had to walk back and forth between certain
the
rooms
egg
to get
thing
the egg.
in this chapter is
was the
so
donut
hard.
Room, chapter 2 was Spamton's dumpster, but chapter 3's egg is insanely convoluted to get. 1. You need to go through this secret door to this puzzle, and instead of solving it, throw the blue block here to the right, then exit the puzzle. 2. Go to this room south of the green room. Get detected by this zapper, tell him that you're a cheater, tell him that you're going nowhere, and you'll be warped to a secret room by yourself. 3. Do the puzzle using the block you set up from the previous puzzle and then go right. 4. Go onto the console with this old guy, talk to him a bunch of times
I've
until
seen
a wardrobe
this.
appears, and then you'll get a trip ticket in your items. 5. Fast travel to Golden Sam, go to this room with the trash cans, and enter battle with a Ribic. 6. Act on the Ribic, hover your cursor over Crocon X, hold left, and then your soul will literally grow legs and then fucking walk off screen. 7. You're now at this weird Game Boy area.
Again, like, I talked about it before, but the fact, the little heart walking animation, and like in chapter 4, they actually used the Deltarune attack, like the attack oval thing, I have to wonder, like, what is the particular reason for reusing those assets? Because they're quite obviously Undertale assets. like, is there actual symbolism there? Or was it just, they worked, so, reuse them? And on top of that, like, granted, Chapter 1 and 2's egg rooms were they weren't hard to get, they were just sort of monotonous, because you had to keep walking back and forth between rooms. Why is Chapter 3's so awkward to get? Because it's not just, you walk back and forth a couple, in between two rooms before you hit the one in whatever chance it is to, appear. You have to basically not do one puzzle, or no, you can, actually, after you get the blocks, you can go back in and kind of move you basically have to do a puzzle wrong, so you can complete a different puzzle, and then you have to tell a certain NPC a very specific line of dialogue in a very specific part of the game that gets you to play another mini game, and then you have to get an item that you have to then use during a battle with a very specific enemy, at what point then you come here. Like, why is it so difficult? Why is it so different? It honestly doesn't make any sense. Unless there's like some sort of symbolism or something going on here. Honestly, again, like, everybody was thinking that, like, the eggs... Well, I mean, they were also thinking the same thing with the dark secret boss shards as well. But, like, everybody was thinking that the eggs were literally just Easter eggs. They were just something you collected. But at this point, the fact you have to go through so much effort just to get one of them, and one, like, random one at that. Why? It doesn't... Toby, what are you playing at?
You can go north and then talk to the man behind the tree. After a completely incoherent conversation with choices that don't matter, you can get the egg.
I think that was the fact that what they were talking about. Let me see. What does the hint say? About the Eggman fact. Your choices do matter. You should be polite to you should be polite to him as possible, or he'll just disappear. Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense.
In the game, once you and Rose to be pushing buddies, you can stand there and do nothing. Eventually, Tenna will cut to a commercial with a fallen over Rose plush, saying, "Why didn't you push him?"
I mean, that's fun. that out of context, that is just so mean.
When you enter your name during the game show, there's several different names that will get you special dialogue. Entering ass will make Susie laugh because she had the exact same idea. Entering sus or rawl will make Tenna say, "It'll get confusing." If you try to enter pee or poo, Tenna will clear your name and say that's a no-no word. And if you try it twice, he'll give you the name bad as punishment. Entering ah will make Tenna say... will make Tenna say that you're already screaming from delight. Entering cry will make Tenna sad and contemplate things. Just kidding, he'll just make fun of you as always. Pretty much every curse word that isn't ass is censored.
Yeah, that cry... Yeah, that's what I did in my playthrough.
K, FUX, FUC, and FUQ are all censored. Not with a censor bar, but the game outright prevents you from putting the last letter if you already have F and U lined up. Funny enough, there's an unused cutscene for when you put in some form of the F word as your name. Tenna will be shocked, he'll cut to a technical difficulty screen, and your name will be replaced with fun. I guess fuck-ass Rao was too harsh for the censors.
Okay. I had seen that cutscene. I didn't realize it was unused. Oh, okay.
You can't put G as the last letter at all, so you can't say anything too offensive. And you can't put an M if it's followed by a C and a U. Oh.
I've also saw one where you can't put... Wait, was it gas? Was it gas as in gaster, or... God, what was it?
And you can't put WDG for WD.
Oh, okay, okay, that's the one I was thinking of.
The knight has several unused attacks, and I'm gonna be honest, thank fucking God none of these were in the game, because I probably wouldn't have beaten him if I was dealing with this. Look at this bullshit. This guy makes Jevil look like a rooted. This is ridiculous. But you also have this attack where he just throws one knife, and then his attack ends. It's like the dummy, he just ran out of knives.
Like Des ran out of knives. Oh God, sorry.
Skawo for the footage there. Also, thank you for putting the knight in the dojo. Really, really funny seeing the knight. Just
I didn't even notice that.
In the fucking dojo. In the green room, you can play a game on the TV with Susie. Since the TV is facing away from the player, you can't see what's happening. So Susie will ask if you're even looking at the screen, since, you know, you aren't. Chris is, but you aren't. With debug mode, you can actually see what's happening, and the game is just a pixel and a square track, and you go around it. And going around it makes Susie mad from losing. Remember this cutscene where
I didn't know there was an actual game there. Interesting.
Ralze talks about Darkners? This room in the files is literally called Nondescript Room, so you don't know whose room it is. Since Ralze isn't real, I guess this would probably be Susie's? I mean, you get the monster poster on the wall and she was a fan of it, and you never see Susie's house, so it could be. Susie.
God. Come on, Tommy, you couldn't have given us just a little bone or something? Come on, like... You couldn't have said Susie room? No, that's just nondescript room. This distinctly purple shaded room with nothing in it. Toby, it's a year until the next chapter and you're already killing us here.
Susie spends the entire week outside of her house, so I can't imagine it's going good at her place. The song playing right now is called Baci Perugina in the files. Baci Perugina is the name of a chocolate company from Italy. Why is the song called that? I don't know, but back in 1997, their slogan was Baci Perugina is waiting at home.
Oh wait, I think I've seen these candies, or these chocolates. They're very, when you unwrap them, they're very similar to like Ferrero Rochers. Except the shape is different. Because I think I remember seeing something with that kind of wrapper before.
So like, since you're in your home, the chocolate's at home, and I don't get it. Wait, 1997, like Spamton's favorite year, everyone's favorite salesman, 1997, and the price of the thorn ring, 1997 Cromer. Oh my god, 1997 was foreshadowing chocolate this whole time! During the rhythm segment for Tenna's boss theme, Ralze will go absolutely hog wild on the last note and then cover his mouth afterwards. The sprite is called Ralze Sing Cuss, meaning Ralze yelled something absolutely diabolical during this note. Also,
God, yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple of people like their thoughts on this, and some people like with like how the song plays, like it's probably like I don't give an F. I mean, I don't like to swear either, so I'm not going to say it. So it could be, you know, I don't give an F, you know, the F word, or also or I also saw somebody suggest that I like to, like they said that they like to think that's like let's go give them hell or something like that. Which, given that this is Ralze, and the sprite specifically called Cuss, I could see him having that reaction to one of the lower level swear words.
All sprites related to the cats with pink and yellow eyes don't have names and are just called sprite with like 10 underscores. Toby knew people would dig through the code for answers and purposely obfuscated any attempts to learn what the hell these things are. That and preventing you from naming yourself Calm. The quiz encounter has some really weird unused sprites. I guess it was supposed to like walk at you like this. I don't know. This thing.
Wait, are those the legs that it had before? Wait, no. Okay, so I think in the actual game, its legs are pixelated. It doesn't have actual human legs.
Is freaky. Things really took a weird route. During the secret minigame in the Ice Palace, the hooded figure that follows you was originally a deer. However, there's a variable in game called Toriel that forces the game to use the hooded sprites instead of the deer ones. Remember when Tenna talked about there being a third game board? Well, there actually is.
Again, that is so weird. Again, it was talked about in another video I watched, but like, why Toriel? Like, it almost makes me think that like maybe in a version of the game at one point you could have played Chapter 3 without Toriel appearing in the Dark World like at all, and if she wasn't there, then the sprites would be different. But like, how and why? I mean, why? Again, like, I cannot wait for, like, an art book or something for this game to come out, just so we can learn more about the development history behind it and maybe learn some more secrets along the way. Ugh.
There is an entire unused game board that took place on a city. It has a song that never got used, along with very rough graphics. The enemy encounters are just generic filler enemies. It also has completely unused quiz questions, like which of these is the composite cable, and
it's
what was Asgore's favorite show, which the answer is a cowboy show. The next question is, when does Asgore's favorite cowboy puppet show air? And all the answers are, it was canceled. Wait, cowboy show. That
Here we go.
Just like Toy Story 2. Oh my god, I can't escape Woody. He is not inside me. By the way, since
I literally already reacted to another video talking about the potential for cowboys to appear in Chapter 5.
Absolutely flamed in the last video's comments, I'm gonna give Woody Theory a 7 instead of a 0. I didn't know about that cutscene until researching this video, and I sincerely apologize. Once you get the cues, you can go to the final door, which has 20 more cues that you have to find, which leads to a 100-floor labyrinth. Susie thankfully puts an end to this by spilling yogurt under her controller, which leads to Tenna declaring a yogurt emergency with a white slimy background and goopy text. This part is still fucking hilarious, but unfortunately it just got cut very late in development. During the sad Tenna...
Again, I really wish we had gotten that. That looks like it would have been fun. Like, maybe it was just to make Chapter 3, like, shorter, and then... I don't know. I mean, if you put all this work into making that section, you know, actually playable, I mean, why not actually, you know, have it be used?
Cutscene, they have the entire house drawn out even though you only ever see the right half of it. The Spamton cannon has its eyes drawn for its sprite even though it has a black sensor bar covering them in game. And the knight has an unused sprite where they hold up a peace sign when they block.
Okay, I was almost going to say, is that, like, wait, are they holding up a peace sign? It almost looks like they're flipping you off, but no, yeah, I do see the two fingers there, yeah, okay.
But the knight never blocks during battle, so they can't just aura farm.
I mean, that's probably going to be one of those things that may be used in a future chapter, in a future fight with the knight.
Well, they're always fucking aura farming, but you get what I mean. Big thank you to the cutting room floor. I would have never in a million years found these unused things. Let's move on to the more random stuff. If you weren't able to get into the S rank room, there's multiple ways to get in. First, you can just, you know, get good and get S rank, which I wasn't. You can also go south from the green room and pay this Pippin 1500 points for S rank.
And that's one of those things. I'm so angry I didn't have enough points the first time.
Slap a cool S on the back of your head and you'll be let in. You can also get the Shadow Mantle if you do really, really poorly on the game boards and get Z rank. Getting Z rank opens up a new room, and you can go inside Tenna's manhole to get backstage. In the Z rank room, there's an unplugged phone that looks very similar to Spamton's. If you get Z rank, the Pippin...
I didn't know that. Interesting.
It lets you buy S rank will tell you that Z rank is too stank for him to wash off. If you die in battle on one of the game boards, Tenna will boot you out to the overworld and take some of your points. If
yeah,
you do
I discovered
really bad
that.
On a quiz, the game will say pain and then zap one of your party members with lightning. If you want to cheat, you can also go to your save file, search for the number of points, and manually edit the number to something high to afford S rank. Getting an S or a Z rank lets you go backstage and play with yourself. You start by farming XP on enemies in the Zelda minigame until you get to max level where you can cut down trees to get the ice key. After the second board, you farm XP again to eventually go to the top of the map in the Ice Palace.
Again, I've watched several people, you know, point it out, but the fact that, you know, this has such strong connotations to the genocide route in Undertale, I can't help but feel, again, because I saw somebody else say this, and I kind of agree with this, that I can't help but feel that doing this might have been what was supposed to tip people off that there was a weird route to do, like, in the first place, especially with, you know, the Noelle and with the Noelle sprite and ice magic thing that you get later on. And, you know, the dungeon.
In it, you find a room saying the forbidden path began with ice magic. Then you find a white hooded figure, the one that used to have a deer sprite, and you have to stab it a bunch of times in order for it to follow you. She freezes the enemies into ice blocks that look like the one that Birdly got frozen in. You also have to freeze a bluebird to progress. After a few puzzles, you reach a door, where you can use the key and get the message, she was used up. So we used up the girl to get into the door and get the shelter key. The next time you play the game, you're on the city board with Susie and Ralze. You can't do anything besides getting your sword and killing them. Funny enough, Chris winces when you kill them. Then you kill some shit, you have to live.
Honestly, this whole thing is so confusing because on the one hand, you have, Chris wincing there and seemingly being really freaked out at what we're doing, even like not even on the weird route, just when we're fighting the secret bosses. Yet at the same time, there is, from what I've seen, there is text during the battle and stuff like that where whatever the being is, it's like taunting Chris, saying that you like doing this, don't you? So is it like being tricked by our actions and think Chris is getting off on this? Or is Chris actually having like some secret enjoyment of us, doing this, but just doesn't want to admit it to themselves?
Listen to Tenna yap about Spamton and kill Tenna so you can progress. You could then use the shelter key to get into the bunker where you have—
Wait, Chris, what was that? Chris wrestles against us as you approach the bunker. They are trying to run away.
Where you have to fight a boss that summons the pink and yellow-eyed cats that had blank names. When you beat the boss, you literally walk off screen. Then you take control of the real Chris again. Then they walk on screen to get the chest and get the shadow mantle. Then Susie comes in and asks what we're doing. But you can still control mini Chris and can smack Susie into Chris, making us get very, very close. Susie admits to tasting your shampoo in the bathroom and offers you to taste hers. Chris doesn't do it, but Susie gets all blushy about it. Cruzy fans got a 5-star meal with this one cutscene alone.
God, honestly, that's the thing with these, the shippers, almost like every shipping group got, a lot of fuel and a lot of stuff from both chapters 3 and 4.
Really?
I mean, my whole thing is like, I like, Nosy, whatever the Noelle and Susie one is, because, it's canon. I also like both Noelle and Chris and Susie at the same time, so I'm torn between so many worlds.
So after you waste an hour and a half to get the damn Shadow Mantle, you can finally fight the Knight. Well, it makes it so you don't get instantly one-shot by it. He is still hard as hell, and if he kills you, he'll take you down to negative 999 hit points, except for Chris. So the only way to recover is by using Revive Mints or Revive Dust. Defend and Graze to get TP to use Rude Buster on Susie, since that does the most damage. Other than that, try not to get hit, which, yeah, no shit, but still. You can't lose momentum by wasting turns to heal. Beating the Knight has Susie slam her sword into the Knights. A piece of it breaks off, Susie gets cocky, gets fucking atomized, Ralze gets atomized, and Chris kneels to the Knight. Either the Knight is knighting Chris for being a badass, or more likely they're working together so the Knight let them off easy. I mean, the Knight does 1,000 damage to Susie and Ralze, and only takes Chris down to negative 80. If you beat the Knight, you are rewarded with a Shadow Crystal and a Black Shard, a weapon that gives you plus 16 attack. It can be equipped on Chris and also Noelle for some reason.
And there's something going on there. I mean, I know there is the whole theory about, and I kind of believe it, that that Noelle was supposed to be the girl in the prophecy, not Susie, because in the prophecy we see in the church in chapter 4, the girl is holding a sword, not an axe.
Ralze refuses to use it and says I shouldn't use it. The shard has a unique animation where it has a red slash over enemies when you attack with it. If you get B rank, you can use this little gumball machine. You have to spend points to get rewards. Depositing 1,225 points lets you go inside the machine, taking you to a giant maze of pathways. It plays Dess's song from the Deltarune website, and eventually you'll find a tiny blue gumball machine. Using it gives you a small dark triangle. You try to take it, but it falls through your hand. You try looking down, but you can't find your hand. This then boots you out of the room. If I had to guess, this was probably Dess's guitar pick. After Tenna captures you, he says, wait, no, not another battle, please. The family's fighting again. Chris lives in a fucked up ass house and Tenna has seen all of it. Speaking of couples,
I've said this before, but Toriel and Asgore's fighting was really bad, given that it traumatized their TV.
fighting La Nino and El Nina. Normally you have to act in order to end their battle and their relationship. If you try to fight them, you'll notice that they have absolutely insanely high hit points and the battle will naturally close after 12 turns. long before you're able to even kill one of them. If you hack
Really?
the game or get a better gaming chair, your game will crash the second you kill one of them. Chris does an absolute fuck ton of damage to Tenna, even more than Suze and Raze. They must have really hated Tenna to want him dead that bad. They do not bring the same enthusiasm into the fight with the knight. This fucking slacker literally just sits down and plays dead if you beat the knight, and they do the least amount of damage. If your game is in a messed up buggy state, either by hacking or game breaking, you'll get to a dog check, which is just a gif of the annoying dog with a song to tell you that your save file is fucked and God help you. It looks like this in chapter 1 and 2, and there's a new one for chapter 3. The music is from the unused city board. We all know the water cooler is insanely strong. Entering this door leads to a room with a water cooler. Trying to leave will spawn 2 water coolers to block both exits. Going in and out of the room will make the water coolers get closer and closer, eventually cloning themselves into an 8-man army of moisture. Oh.
Again, that's one of those things, like, I just instantly went and fought it, but I wish I had kind of been a bit more cowardly and actually done this, because, oh god, it just seems so funny.
Oh, and if you want to know how strong these things are, they can survive a snowgrave. It takes 2 fucking snowgraves to kill one of these guys.
What? I'm sorry, what? Really? Oh god, okay. Jeez, okay, now I want to see an alternate or an AU where we somehow bring Noelle into this, and she does the snowgrave, and it doesn't die. Ooh.
A water cooler can live through Snowgrave, but Birdly can't. Toby Fox talked about Tenna on his Twitter. He made him originally in 2016, and the same year he posted this GIF where he talked about learning 3D. Initially, he tried to use a Kinect camera to rotoscope the animations, but that got scrapped. He tried making them do Miku dances, which also got scrapped. Eventually, he settled on Mixomel animations, which are royalty-free stock animations for 3D models. You can just plop onto your model and make them start dancing.
Yep.
Alright, looks like time is running out here, but I got one additional fact. In the files, Tenna's intro is saved as an MP4 file that you can replace with whatever you want.
Okay, I've seen a different version of this. I can't remember what video they used, but yeah, I knew this one. I'd heard it before.
Yes! Yes! It just ends. And that's gonna end it. Thank you guys so much for getting this far. Please leave a comment if I got anything wrong or missed anything. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And special thank you to my patrons here, Lance Rockhard and Chris Griffin. You get early access to vids and a booster only channel in my Discord. If you don't want to sub to the Patreon, sub to the channel. It still helps a lot. So does liking and commenting. I'll be making another facts video on Deltarune Chapter 4, and I will see you guys later.
God, and honestly, again, I want to see, again, after seeing this, I want to see what was cut from Chapter 4 as well. Because, again, I've seen so many people talk about, like, the cut board and, you know, Tenna's video literally being just an MP4 you can replace in the game. But I haven't seen anybody talking about stuff that was cut from Chapter 4. Now, whether that's just, you know, Chapter 4 didn't have as much stuff cut from it, or like, it's a lot harder to find, I honestly don't know, but it's stuff that I want to see. And hopefully, like, either pyxlwhip or somebody else will end up making one of those videos. But until then, definitely gonna have to see. So, yeah, again, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.